an extension quote from Eric Ten Hag himself. An era must meet its end to allow a new chapter to enter smoothly. The past 2 weeks have been a mixture of joy and unfortunate, mostly focused on the Man United club legend goalkeeper David De Gea, who had reported would be leaving Man United as a free agent after serving for 12 years. The unfortunate part for David De Gea was that David De Gea had been one of the club legends did not undergo a proper goodbye to the Man United fans. While the joy part was that a section of fans had been very vocal for De Gea to leave, even with David De Gea managed to obtain the Golden Glove in the past 22-23 season. However, due to his overall playstyle that may or may not hinder the progress of the club, and the final nail in the coffin was the mistake occurred in the West Ham match and the FA Cup final against Man City. While this kind of mistake did happen from time to time, to be noted with the confirmation of David De Gea leaving Man United eventually ended the last Man United player after Phil Jones that lifted the Premier League in 2012 to 2013 season, whereby was the season Sir Alex Ferguson announced his retirement. After the 12-year-long service from David De Gea will be nothing but utterly respect across the fan base. Besides, with David De Gea officially leave Man United marked a new number one must be brought in as soon as possible. Of course, as Man United fans following closely on the transfer rumours, we definitely know that Man United actively put a lot of efforts in signing none other than Inter Milan Andrea Onana. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Marvin, codename CM. Welcome to the Code United channel once again. Andrea Onana, before the 22-23 season Champions League final, had been known during his Ajax days as an exciting ball-playing goalkeeper, but come with erratic attribute in his game given the fact that Onana had been called a midfielder trapped in a goalkeeper's body. In spite of that, after the Champions League final, Onana's ball-playing ability, especially passing from his penalty box, brought in tremendous high praise, especially his amazing ball-playing as a goalkeeper helped Inter Milan to break Man City pressing system with ease, held his former Ajax manager Eric Ten Hag very eager to bring in his service to the club. On the other side of things, David De Gea was a complete opposite when it comes to ball playing, as David De Gea was notoriously being a terrible player when the ball on his feet also comes together with below average passing ability. Despite of that, how do Onana and David De Gea compare to each other, and if Onana was so wanted by Eric Ten Hag? So in this video, we will look into the evolving attribute from traditional to the modern goalkeeping, David De Gea and Onana playstyle. As per usual, if you enjoy this kind of content, do please like, share and subscribe to this channel due to the fact each of your subscription will be a massive motivation for me to upload new content and ring the notification bell for every new upload. With that being said, let's get straight into the video. First up, we start with goalkeeping. Football had been introduced long before we can even remember nor know that info. In the early football stage, we're talking like the Stone Ages, goalkeeper, like its name, had been very limited in their role, mostly remain on the defensive side and often be the person responsible to stay between posts and save shots whatsoever. For earlier football, goalkeeping was either judged or scouted with the following attributes. The first attribute is nowadays called the shot stopping. The ability to prevent opponent scoring had been the standard level for goalkeepers, and all traits and eye tests for a good goalkeeper would be connected how fast they or how they possess reflexes to save any shot on goal. Besides, the second standard for evaluation was the commanding box presence. To be specific, was dealing with crosses and organizing defensive line. Furthermore, another attribute that still remains crucial ability for the goalkeeper to this day would be sweeping ability. In the 1950s, Gyula Goswick, whom coined to be the first sweeper keeper, or the late great Tommy Lawrence, had been introduced the term sweeper keeper, whereby goalkeeper act as a sweeper that leave their goal line, either face 1v1 with the attacker but aggressively face on in order to close down the angle of the shot. But then, in 1992 Summer Olympic, due to the International Football Association Board discouraging time-wasting and overly defensive play after the 1990 FIFA World Cup, the back pass rule, which prohibited goalkeeper from handling the ball when receiving a deliberate pass from a teammate that is made with their feet, was introduced. These changes had few envisaged this small adjustment that had massive negative impact on the goalkeeper at that time, eventually come with slow yet unbelievable huge impact to the modern game as it has done. With the introduction of the ruling meant that the goalkeeper role being limited to just simple save or handling any ball with their hand. Instead, they had to showcase an accomplished first touch and an ability to get the ball out of their feet before distributing to their teammate. Almost 30 years on from the introduction of the rule, then the goalkeeping position had evolved arguably more than any position on the pitch. The current crop of the top keepers in the world football are far more than just stoppers with no feet. They have become a proper footballer who are regularly afforded the chance to showcase their ability with the ball at their feet. In the modern times, the introduction of the likes of Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp to the Premier League has seen an inflation of the importance playing out from the back, and without a competent footballing goalkeeper, none of this would be possible. In which traces back to a word, distribution. Keepers have now become the foundation of a team, no longer sculpted as the only one man enough to play in goal. Instead, they have become arguably the most important part of a squad. And not only has the development in distribution benefit the team offensively but defensively as well. Coming back to Man United legend David De Gea, we all know most of the story, coming in 2011 as a highly rated prospect and a successor of Edwin van der Sar. David De Gea, upon arrival at Old Trafford, being touted as a calm, insane reflexes and amazing shot stopper. And on July 23, 2011, he played against Chicago Fire in his debut match, which was a friendly contest. Man United won 2-1, but De Gea's performance was a mixed bag. In the October 2011, David De Gea gave away 6 goals in a UEFA Champions League match against Man City in what considered was the worst defeat that Man United has ever faced since 1955. His performance was criticized to an extreme degree, and the team management decided to replace him in the next few matches. David eventually admitted that his first season with Man United was a disappointment. While the 2012 Olympics kept David away from few matches of Man United in the 2012-2013 season, and after initial hiccups, his performance caught a momentum. In February 2013, he saved some difficult shots from his opponent. He eventually voted into the PFA Premier League Team of the Year by the end of the season. He ended up having 11 clean sheets in 28 games that he played in. During the next 2 seasons, he eventually started his glorious journey to become one of the most respected goalkeepers in the world. He won the Player of the Year award in both seasons. In the 2014-15 season, he won the Save of the Season award, and in May 2016, he won another Player of the Year award for the 2015-2016 season, and he became the first player to win the honor 3 times in a row. And in April 2017, he was included in the PFA Team of the Year. This was his 4th selection for the team as a goalkeeper. Even though David De Gea had been absolutely amazing, or even had to have a back surgery after carrying Man United defense for so long, but since the 2017-2018 season was where a lot of the honeymoon, butterflies and sweetness turned for the worse. During that period of time is where both Brazilian goalkeeper Ederson and Alisson make their arrival to the respective rivals, with their participation in the Premier League brought a new phase of goalkeeping in which emphasis of sweeping keeping and the ball distribution, the latter being the point that discussed heavily. 2 categories that David De Gea was not the best, scratch that, the worst in all Premier League goalkeeper instead. Because of David De Gea's slender frame made him prone or avoidance on body contact, hence David De Gea often too hesitant attacking cross in the box or in general throw himself into bodies, and his FB report had him sit at 8 and 9 percentile for crosses stopped and crosses stopped percentage. Another thing was David De Gea passing or ball playing ability had been well documented, as David De Gea piece poor in his passing or lacked in confidence in his own ability. Last season, I remember countless times where David De Gea kicked the ball straight to the opponent that causes goal considered and close to considered. Although as mentioned, his 17 clean sheets in 38 league games were enough to win him the Premier League Golden Glove award last season by some distance, he is still not what Man United needing to moving forward, and Ten Hag would ideally like one more naturally suited to playing out from the back. This is where Andre Onana came into action, and he came in big time. As per right now, we all know that Onana's best trait is without a doubt his ability in possession. He can control and pass the ball in the tightest of areas and remain calm, playing with the precision of a central midfielder, basically an anti-David De Gea. As their playmaker in the goal, it makes him one of the most important players at Inter last season. He is very stressed in his distribution and excels in accurately pinning the ball over varying distance, helping Inter dominate possession. His role often requires him to hold the ball as long as possible and evade the press, manipulate the opposition and open up spaces. While De Gea is often planted his property in his line and spend most of his time with the ball at his feet within the confines of his own box, playing simpler connecting passes to his central defenders or launching the ball long into opposition half with little to no effect. Onana takes up an advancing road position in front of his central defenders, essentially as an auxiliary midfielder. This allowed his central defenders to split out wide and show as an option for an easy outlet pass while pushing the fullbacks up on the pitch in order to create a variable option for Inter to exploit further up the field. At the same time, had the opponent made a decision to press which player. Take the Champions League final as a great example. There was 2 to 3 instances that highlighted Onana's ability in general. In the 41st minute, Onana showed just how superb he is with the ball at his feet, easily slipping his pass past the first line of pressure into the feet of his captain Marcelo Brozovic in the middle of the field. After one touch pass from Brozovic to Nicolo Barella, Inter quickly animated 5 players from the press and advanced the ball into the City halves with relative ease. In the 72nd minute, Onana brilliant with bending ball cut out 7 City players and the first 2 lines of pressure to create a 3v3 counter-attack. Lastly, in the 85th minute, Onana's bravery was on full display where he advanced the ball forward and took on Erling Haaland one-on-one near the halfway line before finding Lukaku, who played a quick one-touch pass to Henry Mkhitaryan. In short, Onana's performance on the highest stage also demonstrated how wide of the gap between his and De Gea's ability to play out from the back, especially when considered that the latter dreaded performance against Seville in the Europa League quarterfinals. Besides that, Onana only turned 27 in April and is entering his prime. He has time on his side as well as the expensive skill set that Erik ten Hag demanded for his system to work to his full potential. That's the end of the video. What do you guys think? Do you think that Onana will definitely help Man United become better compared to David De Gea? Comment down below so that we can have a discussion. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you all in the next one.